Welcome to Bandit's Keep Actual Play. I'm Daniel. This is session 3 now of my original Dungeons & Dragons solo campaign. I'm sending my mapper out again to locate more treasure hoards that eventually a party will go and raid.
All right, welcome to Expedition 3. So I want to explain a couple of things before I get going here. My mapper has leveled up to level 2. Maybe we'll have to pick a name for them. But what I'm doing here is I'm giving the mapper gets 5% of the total value of the map in experience points when they bring it back, and they get half of that, so 2.5% in gold for selling it, basically. It also costs the mapper 500 gold pieces per week that they go out on expedition. So when they came back the first time, they got 625 gold pieces, spent 500 more, went out for a week, came back with 125 gold pieces in their pocket, but then sold the other maps for another 1,500 gold pieces. So in the scheme of things, they had 1,706 gold pieces and some silver, and they're spending 1,000 gold pieces now to go out for 2 weeks. So when I say 2 weeks, I mean 2 dice worth of weeks. What this means is, because this hasn't happened yet, obviously we're new, if this first die expires, like it goes all the way to 1 and then goes away, it does not come back when they get in camp. That's important. So if you're using 2 dice, you still want to make sure that this die keeps getting reset. You don't want to get down to 1 die if you can avoid it. That's what I've learned here. I've been really lucky with these maps. I've actually come in, when I first started doing this, and some of the maps I got only yielded me like 300 experience points and stuff like that. So I've been very lucky with this particular mapper, but let's hope the luck holds out. They're starting up here, which means, again, they have to leave through this section of the board. We can see lots of treasures around, and the most obvious treasures for me are right here. So what I want to do is get myself across to this section, probably rest up in that house. That's probably my plan, but let's take a look. Remember that this only costs 1 to ford the river, so it makes sense for me to go in that direction. That's a straight line for me. Is it? Yeah, it is. So that's probably where I'm going to go. It's going to eat up some days, though, going through the woods. So I think my plan, assuming that I roll well, is going to be to go straight out across here, across the river, go across the woods, get to that house, reset, and then start getting these treasures. So let's see how that plays out for this mapper. All right, turn 1. 1, of course. But now remember, if you haven't seen the other videos, when we roll a 1, we have to move our full missed distance. We have to move in a straight line with no turns. But that's fine, because that's what I was going to pretty much do anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I end on the ford, which is water. If you end on water, then you reset your water supply, but I'm already fine. I did not cross any food, though, so that's going to come down. Now, we're going to check for a wandering monster. On a river, it's on a 5 or a 6 on a d6. No wandering monster. I probably should have turned this first. I got in the habit of doing that. So I turned that first. No wandering monster. The day passes. Good. So far, so good. Now let's get across this forest. 2. All right, well, straight line again. Now, if I could move like 6 squares, I might go off the edge of the board, but which you cannot do, basically, if that's just an illegal move, if that's the case. But it's not going to be the case because I'm going through woods, which are 2 moves each. So 1, 2, I pass through food. That's good. 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's my full movement through the woods. I pass through food, so I don't knock the food down. I'm going to roll a d6 to see if I get water. On a 1 or a 2, I do. 5, no water. Okay, so that drops down. And now I'm going to roll for a wandering monster. In the woods, the wandering monster is on a 5 or a 6. No wandering monster. Very good. Now I turn my day down to 4. Cool. Again, I'm trying to get to that house. That makes the most sense for me. So let's hope that I roll something better than a 1 or a 2. 3. All right, good. That works for me. Trying to figure out the best way to get to the house. I think because I want to make sure I line myself up correctly. If I go 1, 2, I'll pass through water. I can turn once. 3, 4, 5, and I can stop there. And the reason why I'm going to do that is I'm not going to be able to land on the house if I do that next time, but at least I'll pass through it, which will make sure I don't lose movement. So 1, 2. Actually, 3, 4. I'm changing what I'm doing. 5, 6. I'm going to do it this way instead because it still puts me in a good position as long as I don't roll a 1 or a 2 again. Okay, so I pass through water, so I don't need to check that, but my food does go down. I'm going to turn this down, which I should be doing first. And I'm going to roll for a wandering monster. No monster. Okay, that day is over. Now my goal here, ideally I'm going to roll a 6. 6 would be what I want. If I roll anything other than a 6, I might be able to pull it off, but we'll see. 6, yes! All right, so with a 6, I can turn as many times as I want, and I can go as far or as less as I want. Normally in outdoor survival, you've got to move your full movement, but if you roll a 6, you don't. So I'm just going to go like this. 1, 2, I'm there. That's good for me. If you end on a square of food or water, this slides back. So I'm going to do that automatically. I'm going to turn this down to 2. Now I'm not out of water yet. If I need to roll a wandering monster here. If I roll a 6, there's a wandering monster which might push me off the square. 2. I did not roll a wandering monster, so my sanity, if you want to call it that, resets. And that basically sets me up. At some point I'll do a little video explaining kind of the lore behind all this, but right now we're just doing mechanics for these first. Actually, I'm recording the first 3 of these all in one day, if it's not obvious. Because that's what's one thing that's really great about this, is you can crank out a bunch of these in one day. It's really fun to play a quick 15-minute game. As you get higher and higher level, though, it can definitely go. I had a 4th level mapper, and man, those games went long. Those have reset. Now I'm going to go for this first map. Rolling for the day. 4. Okay, so a 4 allows me to turn once, which is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I pick up this map, or I am able to find a location and I map it. I did not pass through food, so that goes down. I'm going to roll a d6 to see if I get water. I do not, so that does go down as well. Okay. Now I'm still in the fields. I'm going to turn this down to 5. Do I have a wandering monster? Only on a roll of a 6. No wandering monster. Good, that day's over. Now, another rule, because we haven't used it yet, when you go through these paths, they only count as 1 movement. So that's where I'm going to go. My plan is, and this is the entrance to it. So my plan is to go through that path to get that treasure in the middle, or the location of the treasure. So let's see what we get here. 5. Okay, that's not bad. So 1, 2, I passed through both food and water. 3, 4, 5. That is kind of a bummer. Okay, you got to move your full movement, so I'm going to have to move to here. So I didn't end on the water, and I couldn't turn into the mountain because I didn't have enough movement to do it. So I passed through both food and water, so neither one goes down, but nothing resets there. I'm going to move this to 4. I'm on a path, so unlike being in the mountain, there's only an encounter on a 5 or a 6. 5, okay, that's not great. Okay, so we have an encounter, but the encounter is in the mountains. So we're going to roll in the mountains a 4. All right, a 4 in the mountains is lycanthropes. So we're going to look up lycanthropes. There's between 2 and 20 and a 15% chance they're in their lair. Lairs become important because you can also mark lairs on the map. So 15% chance. Okay, it's not their lair. So there's between 2 and 20 of them. 12. Okay, a little bit more than half. So we got 12 lycanthropes moving through the wilderness. Okay, there's 4 kinds, so I'll just roll d4. All right, number 4. So werebears. Werebears' movement is only 9, so we're actually faster than the werebears, which is good. So let's go over ahead and look at the evasion rules. Okay, so there's 12 of them, so they fall between here. I have a 70% chance of evading them. Now we're faster than them, but we're not twice as fast, so we don't get any bonus for that. So let's roll. We have a 70% chance. And I rolled a 14. So I do evade them, which basically means you duck for cover. They go past us. They don't see us. We can stay where we are. Nothing happens. It's all good. Now, even if you had evaded them, if it was their lair, then we could note that down. But since it wasn't their lair, basically that's just a move, and we hold our breath and are happy that we didn't have an encounter. Now let's move to the next day. 2. Ugh, 2 is the worst kind of roll. 2 means that I have to move my full movement and in a straight line. So I'm in this hex here. The treasure is there. Treasure is there. Okay, so I actually can't move a straight line to get to that treasure, and I'm already on day 4, so you got to be kind of careful here because time goes by really quickly. So I think I'm going to abandon that treasure to head for one of the ones down further down because there's some houses in the middle. So again, the path counts as a straight line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can't go 6 because I'd hit that water there. I did pass through both food and water, so I don't have to mark those down. And I'm in a clear hex, so let me see if there's an encounter. There is not. We'll turn this down to 3. My goal right now is to get to this place. That's where I want to end up. I only have a couple moves to do it. So let's see. Think if I, yeah, let's just roll and see. 4. So I have 1 turn that I can do. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go 5, 6, I'll pass through it, which will give me both food and water. But I could also go 5, 6, which might actually set me up for a better rendezvous. So I think I'm going to do that. 5, 6. And the reason why I can do that, and that's not 2 turns, is because the path, the entry is across the river. Okay, so I end up in the field. I did pass through both food and water, so I need to roll for that. I will have to roll for a random encounter. 4, so nothing. Let's switch this to 2. Let's see if we can get ourselves to that place. I may just scrap that plan and just get out, to be honest with you, but we'll see. 1, okay. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't get in there, and that would stop me there. And then I'm only going to have 1 more move before I lose this. So I think I'm going to lose my bearing anyways. I think I'm just going to go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which at least gets me another treasure. And unfortunately, I'm in the woods, and I haven't passed through food or water, so food drops down. Water, I did not get either. That drops me down here, which means I actually am now slower. I only have 5 movement. So again, not ideal, but I have got 2 treasure maps, so as long as I can get out of here. A 1, and let's see if there's any encounters in the woods. 3. No encounter in the wood when I roll a 3, so let's see if I can make this work. I'm trying to see if I can get to any of these houses. There's so many around. This is basically it. If I don't get there on this turn, then I'll lose this die. 2, so I have to go in a straight line. I don't think it's possible to get to any of these houses in a straight line. But I can at least pass through this one so I won't lose any more movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a straight line would be here, but I can't move there because I don't have enough movement. So I stop. Food and water does not go down. Unfortunately, this does, and I'm going to roll for a random monster on a 5 or 6. No random monster, so that's good. Unfortunately, that die is gone now, so I have to make a decision whether or not it's worthwhile to try to go after anything else. I feel like going further in the map would just be too risky. I don't want to lose my guy. So I'm going to head back up, and maybe I'll grab that one in the mountain if I get lucky. So, next turn. 3. That allows for 1 move. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I stop there on the clearing, so less chance of a random encounter. I did not pass through food or water, so food drops. Water, I found, so I'm good there. This goes down to 5. And remember, I have to leave on that off that side of the board, so I need to have some energy. I don't think that, yeah, there's no paths over there to get over there quickly, so. Okay, and we have a random encounter. Well, fantastic. It's always the way, right? We have a random encounter, so let's see what we get. We are in the fields. 4. Well, I think we rolled a 4 last time. 4 is lycanthropes again. So we have lycanthropes again. We got a 15% chance they're in their lair. I remember that from last time. Not in the lair. 2 to 20 of them. Okay, there's only 9, so less than half, but that's still probably enough to give us a decent chance of evasion. If they're werewolves, they're faster than we are, so let's just roll. 4, they're not. They're werebears again. Okay, well, there you go. These werebears are kind of chilling out around here. So we basically have a 70% chance to evade them. $30, yeah, yep, 39. So we evade them. All's fine. Okay. So I have 2 maps. My guy's getting a little nervous. He wants to get off there with 2 maps and not die. So let's see what we get for the next turn. 4. Okay, that allows 1 turn. And I have 5 movement. Is it possible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, see, sometimes you can use the scenery to your advantage. So instead of going the easy way, if I go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I end up there. So I passed food and water, so that does not go down, so that's good. And since I ended on there, they're going to reset. So I'm actually going to get my movement back. But remember, this does not reset unless I can stay on the square. No random encounter. All right, so this does reset. Now it's risky because you can notice that right now my water, as soon as I move once, I'm going to drop water again. If I stay in this spot and I don't get a random encounter, then I'll be resetting my water. So I'm going to go for it. No random encounter. So my water resets. And now really the plan is if I can get that treasure out of that mountain, that'll be good. But what I probably should do is just get the heck out. I have two treasures. There's no real quick way for me to go off that side of the map. So, because I'm going to have to go through the woods no matter what I do, and I do not want to go through the swamp. Swamp is terrible. So probably the smart thing to do is to go the way I went before, which is up that way. Up the path and then across. So let's just see what we get. 6. Okay, that's the best possible thing I could have got. Remember, my movement's reset again. So I can move as much or as little as I want, and I can turn as many times as I want. So what I want to do is get over to this path as quickly as possible. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I end on a food and water hex, which is perfect for me. That means nothing goes down and everything resets. I switch this to 5. And what we're going to do here is roll for random monster on a 5 or a 6 on the path. No random monster. Very good. All right, next move. Again, in an ideal world, I want to get to that house again first, because otherwise I might not make it off the map. But remember, I only have to get off the top from any position, so. 4. Okay, 4 allows me to turn once if I want. But again, I don't think I can, and I have to move my total movement. See, that is only 1 off the thing, but I think 1, 2, 3, oh, actually no, 4, 5, 6. Okay, perfect. It's not ideal because I'm ending in a mountain, but you know. Oh, and it's a special map. Haha. Okay, so let's reset this. I went through both food and water, so none of that changes. So here's where it could make or break this map, or was that a wise move, is the question. All right, so if I roll 4, 5, or 6 here, there's an encounter. 4. Oosh. Okay, we have an encounter in the mountain. Now, this could be a problem. In the mountains, we're going to roll a d8. Hopefully it's not a dragon. 7. It is a dragon. Okay, of course it is. All right, we're going to roll a d12 for the dragon. 7. Okay, the 7 is actually cockatrice, which are not the worst thing in the world, I suppose. They're pretty bad, but let's take a look. So actually, they're worse than I thought because they can fly. So they're not twice as fast as we are, though. Their movement is only 18, so that's good. So they don't get the bonus for being twice as fast, but they are faster, which means they will follow us if we don't evade them. A cockatrice is in a group of 1 to 8. So we're actually going to hope, again, we want to hope for a large number. That works better for us. 6. Okay, that's good. So that's, you know, a lot of them. That's more than 60%. Is it their lair? Okay, it's not their lair. So they are faster than we are, which means they will follow us if we don't evade the first time. But they don't get any advantage because of their speed right now, and so we have a 90% chance to avoid them. So as long as I don't roll 91 or better. 20. Okay. So we avoid the cockatrice so we can stay where we are. Life is good. Now the question is, can I get off the map in 4 moves? Okay, there's a couple of things here. If you enter into a path from not the beginning or the end of it, it costs the total movement. So it's going to cost me 3 to move into this mountain. However, once you're in the path, it's considered a straight line. So I can actually move here. It's going to cost me 3. So no matter what I roll, I can still follow the path, which is good because I don't have a whole lot of time here. 6, oh, that's 6 is what I want, so that's good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's actually good. All right, so I end on a square that's water. I did not pass through food though, so that drops down. I'm on a path, which means that this is an encounter on a 5 or a 6. Let me turn this to 3. An encounter in the mountains again. Okay, so another encounter. Rolling a d8. 6 in the mountains. A 6. is giants. Let me just see what kind of giants they are. So 60% of giants are hill giants, so 35. Okay, so the hill giants. So giants between 1 and 8. 4. Okay, so that's 50% of the total number of giants that could occur. Their movement is the same as me, so they're not faster than me. So we have, let's look at our evasion. We have a 70% chance. $54. Okay, so we evade them, which is good. Again, you always want to try to evade, because if you don't evade, you got to move, and that would have been terrible in the mountains. Okay, so again, that turn passes, we're good to go. We've got 3 turns to get off the map. And if I can play my cards right, if I roll like a 6 now, we'll be in really good shape. If not, I think we'll still make it no problem, but it's going to be a challenge. 4. Okay, that's fine. Again, I just got to get off over here. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I should be able to shoot off the map next turn unless I roll 1 or 2. So I hate ending in the woods, but I think that makes the most sense. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm in the woods when I end. I did not get food. Let's see if I got water. I did. That's good. So it doesn't slow me down. And in the woods, an encounter happens on a 5 or a 6. 1. No encounter. Okay, that's good. 2 moves left. 1. Straight line. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 would put me in that hex, which is the end of the thing. So I come off the page. I'm off, so I don't have to worry about the rest of that. And I've managed to actually get 3 maps, so that's really good. So let's see what the 3 maps are. So this is the 3rd expedition. I need to note where those maps were too. I'm just gonna quickly put them back. Sometimes I forget to put them where they were. Okay. All right, so we have 3 maps. Let's roll to see what they are. The one with the guy on it is automatically magic and treasure, so it's automatically the better kind of map. But the other 2 will roll. So first map is 83, which is magic. The second map is 28, which is treasure. Okay, so 1 treasure, 1 magic, and then 1 magic with treasure. So we had a variety here. So the treasure map is 7. That was 7. Okay, treasure map number 7, which is 10 to 60 gems. And I guess you could roll a ton of dice, but I just roll a d6 times 10. Okay, so that's not that many, 10 gems. And then jewelry. 14 pieces of jewelry. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is a magic map. 2. Any 1 item. Finally, we have the special map. 5, which is number 5 treasure and number 4 magic. Number 5 treasure is number 2 above plus, all right, so number 2 is a d6 times 5,000 gold. So 15,000 gold and 5 to 30 gems, which is a d6 times 5. 5, so 25 gems. It's also magic number 4, which is any 2 items. So I'll roll this all up and figure out what we got.
Boy, the mapper really got off with a lot of treasure this last time. Now I've got a bunch of treasure maps going on. You may see 1 or 2 more of these mapper videos before you see an expedition into the actual dungeons. I'm not sure. It really depends on my schedule and what I kind of feel like playing, right? As we progress, we'll incorporate things, as I mentioned before, like chainmail for larger battles if we can find ourselves some large layers to raid. In any case, if you like the video, please give it a like. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out the description below. I've got links to the various products I'm using. I've got links to my Discord server if you want to join over there, and also to my Patreon if you'd like to support the channel. In any case, I'll talk to you soon.